Hi, my name is Brian Jordan.
What's up, Jaguars? It's your girl Corey. I'm introducing the new show called Let's Talk About It. It's basically an edition of Red Table Talk, but as students, we're going to get into some details about what's going on in the world. So, besides me, to my left, I have two guys over here I'd like to introduce to the table. Can you guys say your name, please?
How y'all doing? My name is Joseph Delaney McAllister. I am a sophomore computer science major from Chicago, Illinois.
How y'all doing? My name is Anthony. I'm a sophomore psychology major from Chicago, Illinois.
So I know y'all thinking what this show is about. So we all watch Jada, we watch Will, but this show is not about entanglements. We not entangled in no type of drama. So don't expect that maybe in another segment we could talk about it, but not right now. We're gonna talk about something really serious going on. So the two black men, beautiful black men that I have beside me right here. A lot is going on in this world. We have police brutality, racial prejudice, like just so many things going on. So as two black women, we could say as much as we want to say, but we are never really going to be able to relate. We could relate to our own circumstances, but right now we're going to make the show about them. So Ryan, can you tell me what you have on the table?
Yes, today we're going to be talking about the modern day lynchings and its effects on young black men. And considering that we have two beautiful young black men right here, we're going to get their take on it and what it's like being a young black man in America and let alone on a college campus.
So Joe, I'm really happy to talk to Joe because Joe's from Chicago. Chirac is what they like to call it. So he's able to tell us what was like growing up out there. And Chicago is actually like one of those places when you think about police brutality and racial gangs and stuff. Like people on the outside looking in can say so much, but they don't really know what it's like growing up out there. So can you tell your take as a black man in Chicago?
Right. Growing up in Chicago, honestly, it's hard only because of the fact that you're surrounded by a lot of violence and a lot of negativity. It takes a very strong minded individual to really make it out of, they call it the hood, or make it out of that negative connotation of how Chicago is really perceived. It's really hard just because of the fact that you have guns and gangs and drugs and that's all you around. So of course you're gonna be immune to take all of that in and represent, how it is. But it's only up to you and how your mind wants to perceive it for you to get out and not, deal with all that.
Yeah, I think one of the things I don't like is, especially learning stuff in school, they like to classify places like that as ghettos, but they don't say where ghettos come from. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that when we moved into your neighborhoods and y'all feel like y'all had to move out, y'all had to put us in one space.
Exactly.
And we are not able to go places and get jobs and everything. So we have to adapt to what we know. And that's stealing, that's robbing, and God forbid you got to get it how you live, you got to kill somebody. Right. I'm not saying that's right, but that's really how it is. We have family members that had to go through that struggle and actually get it out the mud and do it. But let's not just say it's because it's their fault. It's not their fault. It's that they were a victim of the circumstances that y'all put them in. Mm-hmm. Ghettos were placed strategically as a defense to make sure that we stay grounded in where we are.
Right.
So that's why Black excellence is really well. I'm proud of people like us, we in school doing our thing. Mm-hmm. We just have so much that we want to do, and I want this show to reflect that you can make it out that circumstance and be somewhere and be something in life and don't be another stereotype of what they want you to be. So Tony, where are you from?
Chicago.
You from Chicago too? Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Hold up. You from Chicago?
He from Chicago.
Dang. So, okay, what's your take?
Well, for me, it's more I grew up on the south side of Chicago. That's the best side, but also the worst side. Because, everybody that's from the south side, we are real, south side heavy. We appreciate where we came from, but at the same time, we come from nothing. So me growing up as a kid, my dad was in the gang, my brother was in the gang, my cousin's in the gang, my uncle's in the gang. So what you think happened to me? Got in the gang because I'm surrounded by it. That's all you know. So when people say the ghetto, you got this one track mind, it's learned. It's not we come out the womb oh yeah, I'm finna go in the streets, I'm finna kill somebody. Right. No, it's you see it every day and that's all you know. Mm-hmm. We don't got no positive role models. We don't got nobody showing us right and wrong, at least not at that age. So coming from Chicago, it's hard. You really gotta fight just to make it out. Like, I'm a first generation college student. My parents didn't even think about college. That wasn't even an option.
Ooh, okay.
So-
First generation college student.
So I think I'm gonna be the third person in my out of my siblings to actually go to college and the second to finish.
That's good.
That's
So
good.
2020 has been like,
Man,
I'm over it.
Mm.
Like I'm ready for 2021. I mean, I'm gonna still do what I have to do, but I'm ready to like New Year me, please.
Child,
like
from hurricanes to shootings
to
to
COVID.
plague. Like, what else is really next? But
It's too much.
considering everything that's going on right now, I don't know if you guys have heard about the recent shooting with Jacob Blake.
mhm.
He was recently shot in the back. Do you know how many times?
7, I think.
7. Shot in the back in front of his young black sons. So, y'all being somebody's son, how did that affect you, or did the story affect you in any way?
Like seeing the video, because we have phones now, so
Mhm.
everything is being recorded. So seeing that, you can just get it so easily. Instagram, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, like so many social media sites. So just seeing it for yourself and knowing this is not the first time, it's something that has been continuing for decades. I know people are tired. So like, what's y'all take on that?
Honestly, I feel like it was disappointment because throughout the whole pandemic, we seen like so many protests, like so many people like changing their mindset of like Black lives actually matter,
Mm-hmm.
and like all this progress we made during the pandemic, then this just happened. It was just like a stab in the back to say like, man, I thought y'all were like at least going to take more heed to how we feel about like our lives in general and other people.
So kind of like a slap in the face.
Right. And it was just like, man, it's just hard to actually think about what about one day when I want to, grow and have a family, like I'm gonna have to deal with this too in the future, or like, is this gonna end while we can come up, and stop it ourselves?
And I think it's like what I said earlier. His sons, to see that happen at such a young age, they're gonna grow up probably hating police officers.
Right.
And you can't be mad at them because they just seen a police officer kill their father for no apparent reason. So when you exposed to that at a young age, it's like our generation. Like we the ones who like taking up the fight for Black Lives Matter and police brutality and all that. So for them to be the next generation seeing that, it's not gonna get no better unless like it's a team effort. If the police don't want to cooperate and they don't want to try to come to some consensus of stop killing Black people, then the people seeing their fathers get killed, they're gonna start to retaliate, and that's why we got all these riots and people talking about kill the police and ACAB and all that.
Right.
So that's what I feel.
One thing I don't like is when we express our anger, it's almost as like we're terrorists. But you have the KKK who could have like protests and stuff, but they're called nationalists. They're called like patriots.
Exactly.
How is hate a form of patriotism? Like you're showing hate,
Right.
and I don't blame the kids because it's something that they're taught.
Right.
Because
But I
hate
just-
isn't something that's
Hate is
born.
something that you taught. It's not,
Exactly.
you don't come out the womb like, oh, I hate Black people.
Right.
It's something that's taught. Like kids don't have no negative bone in their body.
Exactly.
So,
It's just like their surroundings.
yeah, you're surrounded by
And
hate.
not like you being a product of your surroundings, but I mean, just what you've come in contact with is going to affect your perspective and affect like how you look at people. You know what I mean? So
And it's the one, like, when people say that he got what he was like, they got what they was coming for them. But you have Tamir Rice, who was 12, 13 years old, playing with a toy gun. And you didn't say, like, hey, son, like, that's a real gun that you have? Where did you get it from? You immediately shot him. But you have little white boys that play around with guns. Well, that's something, oh, it's cute.
right.
But you took this child's life and he didn't live his life yet.
And who was considered probably a juvenile, probably holding a fake gun.
So how do y'all feel about that? Because every time, like with Trayvon, when he got killed, they was like, well, he's on Instagram throwing up the middle finger. He's told this and told that. But it was the fact that y'all killed this child and he was just trying to go back home.
But that
Right.
still doesn't make his life
Any less than
than
yours.
one of his white counterparts. That
Exactly.
doesn't make his life any
Right.
less.
And also, like, not to say like we're raised different, but if you think about it, if you hear like hunting, first thing you think about is a white man with a rifle in a forest shooting deer. They teach their kids that very young. They're holding guns. Why are they not getting shot? they're actually shooting people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They look at us as a threat just because the color of our skin and just because they think we got so much hatred. Like, it's been so many years. If we really had that much hatred, don't you think this whole race would have eliminated that race?
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Yeah, speaking of like hunting and guns, you have the incident in Wisconsin at the protest.
Yep.
The
Mhm.
17-year-old walking around with an AK.
Right.
Shot.
How many people did he shoot?
He shot
Like
like two people. Well, I think one person died. But in the news, y'all didn't say that. Y'all was he was cleaning up graffiti on the walls.
Right.
Like he just didn't kill nobody.
Because I feel like people kind of, with stuff like that, they kind of let that slide under the rug. Because like you said, with the graffiti thing, like they put emphasis on that. Oh, he was cleaning graffiti and he was doing all these good things. That was just hours before. But with something like that, him shooting two people at a rally, and it was a peaceful protest, right?
Right.
A peaceful protest. And like, I was talking about this in my my mass comm class, actually. And we were just talking about how if we're able to really come together as a people, we could do so much. And I forgot who the girl was. Her name was Adea, I think. And Adea, she put a whole lot of emphasis on this, that us coming together, like, we could do so much as a people because we have the resources. And then especially the world we're living in now, our generation, like cell phones, computers, tablets, the internet, like we have all these different resources at our disposal. Like, there's no reason why we should still be sitting up here, like, you know, trying to hate somebody else for like the color of their skin. I mean, again, everyone's perspective is different, how they were raised, yada, yada, yada. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to come together and embrace our differences. When we see we walk around with different people every day. Like, we're walking around campus, it's everybody, even people in this room from different walks of life. And the fact that we still have hatred in our heart enough to not band together for the greater good, it's really upsetting. It really is. And I just want to get into this real quick. Have you guys had any run-in with the police? Because I want to talk about that real quick.
Which one?
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Tom.
Because, like, he'll be able to tell you, the CPD, that Chicago Police Department, they just different. Like, they will literally pick on young black men just for standing there. Like if you just see like three black, let's say they all teenagers, three black teenagers standing on the corner, they automatically drug dealers, they automatically gang members, killers, and they treat it as accordingly. Like, just driving down to Southern, I drove down here with my friend Josh. We got pulled over because he got an all black truck with black tents. That's why they put us over. They say it's because he was swerving, but we was driving. Then they get to the car, they talking about, oh, we smell narcotics, so we got to search the vehicle. Narcotics. So we get out, you know, they pat us down, do the whole routine. We in handcuffs with our chin on the curb for some narcotics that they didn't even find. So it's just like they just pick on us for no reason. And I just don't understand why, because I could be a killer, but at the same time, I'm not. So, like, why don't you go focus on the real killers and do your job? Because there's people that's actually dying out here. Y'all worried about me for no reason.
And also, it's just like, they think that, yes, Chicago, like I said, the South Side, it's one of the best parts, but also one of the worst parts. Even though, like, we're known for, like, it being bad and, like, killing and stuff like that, we all not killers. Like he said, he had a whole different experience. We both grew up on the South Side of Chicago. I wasn't initiated in no gangs. You know what I mean? I was actually in my books. I was actually in my books. I was going to school all the time. Like, my mama didn't let me step outside nowhere near that corner over there. You know what I mean? So, like, you can get different perceptions from like where you're growing up, and the police don't get that. They think that just because we black, just because we got dreads, just because we got waves with do-rag, that we in the gang, or we trying to go kill somebody.
Exactly. It's the stereotype, and I also feel like it's definitely how we're perceived in media, like television, how we are on socials, Instagram, Snapchat. Like, I'm not saying I understand like why they would, but I mean, I kind of do, like, why they would think so. It's just the way we're perceived. And I mean, it's black excellence all over this campus, but it's black excellence everywhere, and we can really do so much. We're amazing. We really are. And it's sad that people really can't see that. But I mean, again, going back to what we said earlier in the show, everybody's different. Their perspective is different. The way they was raised, who they were around, their experiences. So I mean, everybody's different. But it is a sad thing that nobody can. Well, not nobody, but everybody can't really grasp just how great we really are. Even some of our own people, kids our own age, still don't understand like how much power you have in just being Black.
Right.
Like so, what you can do, not even just because of the color of your skin, but who you are, what you can do because you are Black and taking pride in that. It's a beautiful thing. And I really hate that people our age can't see that.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to add in that, like, I'm really happy that it didn't turn out into something greater than that, because they have people that get pulled over and they don't make it out alive. And it's the fact that y'all was coming down, like, just to go to school and pursue, like further your education, that y'all got pulled over. So that sucks. So the only thing that we can do is, like, literally, like, protect ourselves. People like to say, well, you don't, you don't follow directions, then maybe it won't happen to you. But that people that follow procedures, simple procedures. I show you my license. I show you that I have the license of, like, to carry my weapon, and you still shoot me. So the only thing that we can do as a community, as man and female, is just to band together and educate ourselves, educate one another on that it's not your fault that you're being, stereotyped. It's the fact that they're scared of excellence. They're scared of, like, they're insecure with themselves.
And it's some very corrupt people too. Like the same police that are doing all these things, like shooting Black men and being prejudiced against people because of the color of their skin, is because of some corrupt people that we have that are hiring them in politics or just in like citywide positions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or just being a governor or a senator. Like, they're hiring these people to do these things.
Right.
So it's really is a sad thing to see. So if you have any further questions that you would like for future shows, go ahead and submit it to the social media pages. They'll be right up here on the screen somewhere. And thank you for joining us.